What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another Should You Pull video, where I give you my opinions for upcoming banners coming to the global version of the game. In today's video is going to be about the ultimate Bahamut banners and whether you should pull on them or not. Now we are going back finally to normalcy. This is gonna be my normal format. We are not reading off everything under the sun in Dissidia DB anymore. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the changes coming when this event does come out. Okay guys, so for the first and only rework coming with this event is basically Kuja's rework, and it's a very minor rework as well. It is a welcome change though, so basically his Ring Holy will have 2 extra uses instead of just the 1, and this now applies a new debuff called Melody of Life. Now Melody of Life is basically a frame debuff which will have 2 different things attached to it. First is the Holy Resistance down, or the Holy Resistant Imperil if you want to call it that, as well as a speed down debuff. Now the speed down debuff is only about 10%, so it's not a huge thing, but it is also a welcome change. Okay, so now let's move on to his LD, which will be releasing when this event does come out. So this will give him the LD ability called Seraphic Star. Now this will have 2 uses at the start and will do a 2-hit single target Holy Magic Brave attack plus an AoE HP attack that is delivered 7 times. The Brave attacks is going to be distributed based on the number of enemies, so think of Ring Holy, basically it works like that. This will have a 120% max Brave overflow limit, and the HP damage is going to be split. This will also increase his own Brave by 20% of the total HP damage that he's done after each HP attack, but it is excluding the last one, so he doesn't get a Brave refund for that. This will also grant him a new special effect called Terra's Crystal for 6 turns. Terra's Crystal basically raises the party's max Brave and attack by 20%, as well as granting the party another Holy Enchant. This time it's adding another 20%. Now at 1 out of 3, this will increase his attack by 20%, as well as increasing the Brave damage dealt of Seraphic Star. At the start of the quest, he will have 4 stacks of Soul Cleave straight away, and will grant him 5 turns of his max Brave up and magic attack up. While Terra's Crystal is active, he will also have access to his Brave attack plus and his HP attack plus. Now basically these 2 are pretty identical, where the HP attack is obviously going to deliver an HP attack, but these 2 things do grant him 2 stacks of Soul Cleave. So you know, it's a welcome addition, especially once you're slowly running out of Soul Cleave stacks. Now at 2 out of 3, this will again raise his attack by 20%, as well as increasing the duration of Terra's Crystal by 6 turns, and at 3 out of 3, increasing his attack again by another 20%, and will give him 1 extra use for Seraphic Star. Okay, so now let's move on to Kuja's Burst, which is also going to be releasing at the time of this event comes out. This will give him the burst ability called Flare Star, which is going to be a 15-hit AoE Holy Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack. This will have a split damage when it's regard to its HP attack, and will have an increased Brave damage dealt when attacking a single target. The maximum Brave damage is increased by 20%, as well as the maximum obtainable Brave and HP damage limit increasing by 100%, so up to 199,998. The burst effect for this one is still party-wide. This will increase the Brave damage dealt by 50% of the entire party, and grants another Holy Enchant, which is going to be 50%. Now the max Brave damage limit is going to increase as well by 20%, as well as increasing the max Brave overflow limit by 30%. Now this is the stolen Brave, not the gain Brave. That is a very important detail there. Alright guys, so after hearing all this information regarding Kuja's rework and his LD and burst, what are my final thoughts when in regards to Kuja? Now, to me, Kuja was already a decent character. He was sort of floating around between decent, good, and great, somewhere along those lines. So he's sort of stuck in the middle when it comes to magic DPS. He was good, but he wasn't the best, right? With the addition of his LD, I think it just further enhances his ability to actually do a lot of damage. Plus, he's not one of these selfish DPS that we are pretty accustomed to when it comes to a damage dealer. So Kuja was actually giving a party aura even way back when he first came out with his EX. With his Dark Messenger frame buff, he was able to give 40% extra attack for the entire party. And so now with the release of his LD, this just gives him more party auras that are very welcome. His party aura for this LD gives the party a 20% increase in attack plus a 20% increase in max brave as well. Now the holy enchant is actually really nice as well, of course, because this does give you extra damage output, and now he can actually imperil the holy element as well, which I think he was kind of lacking back then. He relies so much on his holy element that it was head scratching that he actually didn't have a holy imperil down debuff that he can actually use. So this is a very nice welcome for a powerhouse magic damage dealer that is not selfish at all and is willing to play with other party members. So overall, I am pretty happy with what he got, even though it may be in some people's eyes a very minuscule rework. I think it's just what he needed. He needed a holy imperil down debuff that he can apply to the enemies, and you know, he got a little bit of extra there. Instead of fully reworking a lot of his abilities, he actually pretty much got the rework that he needed with his LD. So it is very important to actually try, and if you really like Kuja, to try and get his LD, because it fixes so much of his, not so much issues, but what he was lacking, the LD really fixes. So that includes both his brave attack and HP attack, plus having extra ability to gain the soul cleave buff. Although, I mean, if you do have his EX, you probably aren't going to drop the soul cleave anyway. So, you know, I think it's a bit of a head scratcher, that one, but there are maybe some cases that maybe it does fall off for whatever reason, you know? So it's a nice welcome, and I'm pretty happy with what he got. Alright guys, so we're finally at the end of this video, and the final question remains, should you pull? Honestly speaking, I think you should try to get his LD if you have the resources for it. I know there's probably a lot of people are running low on resources because this month has been very taxing when it comes to resources. There's a lot of very good characters, and that's including Kuja as well. So the great thing about this is the ultimate Bahamut will give us the opportunity to regain some of those resources. So if you do plan and you do like Kuja, I think you should just chase his LD rather than chase his burst. His burst is nice as well, don't get me wrong, it's actually pretty good, and it actually adds more to what Kuja already brings into the table. So it wouldn't hurt to actually grab it by chance, but I think his LD is very important to him because it not necessarily fixes the issues that he had, because I think he didn't have much issues to begin with, except for the holy imperil down. So it just further enhances what he's able to bring to the table. So I would suggest using tickets. You can probably use gems if Kuja is really one of your favorite characters. The only thing that I would warn you guys is this: if you haven't gotten KujaSUMMARY yet, because the two banners are going to overlap. I'm not entirely inclined to say go back and just grab KujaSUMMARY instead of Kuja, because they actually have different, you know, different uses. Where Kuja increases your like raw attack power, KujaSUMMARY increases your overall damage output when it comes to HP attack. So they're pretty different characters, so I think you have to weigh in which one you need. Plus, the reason why I don't necessarily say to chase for the burst in these banners is because Gladio is coming up in the next two banners up. And basically, if you're chasing for Kuja's burst, that is probably, well, I wouldn't say probably, it is the best place to actually chase for Kuja's burst, because you really would like to have Gladio in your team. So I guess that is it. Like I said, chase the LD for this one. The banners themselves aren't that bad, right? So you have the opportunity to get Garnet and Lulu on one banner, and then you've got Rydia, and you got Porom, and you got Papalimo on the other. I think, in my opinion, the one with Garnet is the best one, because I think Garnet is probably the second best character out of everyone on the list, and the following would be maybe Porom and Rydia. Lulu is sort of like kind of in the lower tier now. She does bring Fire Imperial, but it's not like she's doing a lot of damage anymore, and she didn't do a lot of damage to begin with. So to me, in my opinion, if you don't have Garnet, see, I'm not using Dagger, so if you don't have Garnet yet, I think that is probably the best banner to aim for Kuja's LD. But if you already have Garnet, go to the other banner. Rydia is still a solid Imperial and does a pretty decent amount of damage. Porom is a very good white mage healer, so you know, you won't go wrong with either or banner, because there is something to gain if you haven't got these characters. Obviously, if you already have all these characters, then just aim for the LD, I guess, whichever banner you want. So, but personally, like I said, I prefer the one with Garnet, because she's both a very good damage dealer, a brave battery, and a healer to boot. So she can imperil two different elements as well. So, you know, she's like all-in-one package basically. So anyway, guys, I think that is it for this video. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And you can follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Monchkinz Gaming, and also leave down in the comments below, as always, which, you know, character are you aiming for? Are you aiming for Kuja's LD? Are you gonna pull on this banner? Let me know down in the comments below. Or are you going to wait for the Gladio banner, or even go back to KujaSUMMARY's banner? Let me know down in the comments below. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.